Thanks for logging on to BVN 8. Once again, it's your best friend, J. Cole. I'm in here like last year, baby. We about to be live, up close and personal with comedian and actor Ralph Harris right here. Stay logged on for more. Thanks for logging on to BVN 8. Once again, it's your best friend, J. Cole. Hey, baby, we closing out the new year, the old year, bringing in the new year with my man here.
That's right.
Big Ralph in the building. What's good, Ralph?
Rhyme that? Did you just rhyme that?
Hey, man, I know you.
Year bringing in the new year.
I remember your early comedy. Y'all talked about your mom, your dad, your parents.
Everybody.
So my grandma with Dr. Seuss. So I just did a Dr. Seuss moment.
Hilarious. You had a Dr. Seuss to your grandma?
I had to, man. But I was reading it to her. She wasn't reading it to me, though. that's what it was. Hey, man, it's my man. Ralph Harris is in the building, baby. It's going down. What's up, baby?
I'm good, man. I'm good. I appreciate y'all having me and giving people a chance to see me.
Man, I'm going to tell you, I've been a Ralph Harris fan without dating myself a minute.
Yeah.
I mean,
then that dates me. Though.
Man, my bad, bro.
No, actually, I'm proud of it. In February, I will have been doing stand-up 32 years. Actually working at it 31 and a half years. 6 months into doing stand-up, I was making money.
Wow.
Yeah, because I started in the 80s and the business was hot.
Yeah.
And my father was one of those people like, you ain't gonna be wasting your time on something you ain't making no money.
Right.
And so I thought, well, if I already got 5 minutes of material, I'm gonna start hiring myself out because somebody needs 5 minutes.
Right.
And so I would call my old high school and do the junior proms and the senior proms and stuff like that. And then from doing that, I ended up with a gig opening for the play Annie at a dinner theater, 500 people every day. I did 3 shows a week, and they gave me a nice chunk of change that I was like, y'all giving me, well, all right, because I remember the guy did the deal. He was like, I don't know, we could probably give you 500. And my response was, I don't know, but I was saying, I don't know if I should get that much.
Yeah.
But he said, all right. I mean, we can go to 550.
And he went up for you. You thought it was going down.
Right,
He went up.
But then my guilt did like this. I said, I don't know, just give me 375 and then let's figure it out.
So you took money from yourself.
But once he saw me about 2 shows, he went back to 500 because of the job I did. He said, you're worth more.
Right.
He said, so we'll figure it out. And that was the rest is history.
Wow.
Yeah.
So, okay. So let's talk about his story.
Right.
So way before you hit that first stage, that first comedy element, that first moment, Ralph Harris, like, comedy is for me.
Right.
What kind of pushed you? What kind of pushed you? Who did you? Some of the pioneers, like some of the people that you saw back then.
I think all of us comedians, we were in somebody's basement listening to some record.
Yes.
So my mom, we had Mom's Mabley in the house, but my buddy Kevin Sizer had Richard Pryor, he had all the Red Fox, his father had everything. So I listened to those, Godfrey Cambridge,
Okay.
all of those albums, and the George Kirby. So I listened to all of that. But I could visualize it, and Kev, they would let me stay in the basement, and they go outside and play touch football.
Right.
I was laying by the speaker listening to the laughter, the cadence, and everything. And so, but the first person who inspired me to be funny was my mom. My mom was the clown of the family, so to speak.
Okay.
She could take a dry moment in the family. My mother could make fun at a funeral repast.
Wow.
And people would be dying and happy that she was there.
Okay.
Because she took them out of that moment and it became a brighter moment. And I said, man, I want to do that because I was a quiet kid. I didn't talk much.
Right.
And because, when you around, black family, they like stay out of grown folks' business.
Exactly.
Speak when you're spoken to. Don't say nothing unless I ask you. Right. And so there was a lot of that. And so I was like, man, how do I express myself with everybody telling me to be quiet? And so watching my mom, I knew that's how I wanted to inspire people. But Eddie Murphy taking off was the flip.
Right.
Because in 1980, 81, when he was on Saturday Night Live, and my buddy started talking about, we got to watch this dude on Saturday Night Live doing Buckwheat. I was like, Buckwheat, that's my favorite character. What are you talking about? So I started watching Saturday Night Live, and man, you couldn't tell me nothing. I collected. You look at my own faces. What? Nothing. Come on, man. I'm Velvet Jones. I'm Velvet Jones. The pimp. Come on, man. Selling books. Selling self-help books. Come on. All of that stuff.
Right.
So Eddie was my guy. Eddie changed my life. Crack. the drug crack was starting to take over real heavy in the neighborhood, and they were starting to ask guys my age to either sell weed or crack or whatever as an alternative. And I knew I wanted to go to college, but you know, I didn't even know what a SAT was. I was like, well, how do you do that? And I wrote letters to the colleges I wanted to go to.
Wow.
And when Tuskegee Institute wrote me a letter back saying, we would love to have you, we just need your scores. I was like, scores? I was in the 9th grade 3 years in a row. What? I don't know about scores. So I had to go to night school, summer school, everything. But by the time I finished, I went in the Army. But right before I went in the Army, just about 5 days before I left, Eddie Murphy was at a place, 3,000 seats at Valley Forge Music Fair in the round. And I got to go see him live. Now, by that time, I had collected everything you could see, every newspaper article, movie poster, and my whole wall was Eddie Murphy, because I was projecting what I wanted to do.
I got you.
And so once I went and saw him, I knew his act word for word. And shook his hand at the end of the show, and went into basic training knowing his act. And they called me Murphy in basic training. So that's how I got through.
That's right. Now, so for those who don't know, home, Philly.
Home is Philadelphia.
Okay.
I've been living in LA though for the last 27 years. You know, you gotta, if you're an actor or something like that, you really want to be in the markets where you can get exposure to that more. It's not nothing wrong with being in your local market doing as much as you can, but eventually you need to step it up.
Right. Now speaking of stepping up, like you said, you did Eddie Murphy, one of the pioneers that kind of set the stage for you. Now, this is when I say I date myself. I remember one of your first early on shows. I remember one of your, and I was loving the show, and I was feeling. I see TV One is recently has been bringing it back
on our own, with the Smollett.
With the Smollett, and see, people don't really remember that show, but that's with Jesse Smollett.
Well, we change generations every 10 years. And every 10 years, the new generation ain't gonna know nothing about 20 years ago or 10 years ago. The matter of fact, they call it old school. So, and I get that. So I just the comedy gives me a way to keep hitting the audience no matter what. The thing is, though, is that every time one of us from that show do something big, someone asks about that show. And it gives that show another life. We did one season. The show was created for the Smolletts. It wasn't created for me. I was an actor who had just done Arsenio. I was pretty hot at the time as a comic. And ABC had my tape, and they sent my Arsenio tape over to the producers of Family Matters and Full House. They saw my tape, and it was like, wow, they wanted to do a Mrs. Doubtfire type of show on network TV. So they bring that in.
And that's what it was, because like you said, even though you say the show was created for the Smolletts, and you can kind of see it, but the heart of the show, bro, I mean, Ralph.
Well, the whole idea was the parents passed away in the car accident, and we had to figure out a way to keep these kids together without parents. So how can we do that? So I was like, well, can I play the old man? Because I've been doing the old man for years. And they were like, yeah, but Mrs. Doubtfire was hot. So they said the more comedy would play from the other side. And I was a little hesitant at first, but I said, the only thing I want to know is I want the audience to know that I'm changing. I don't want the viewing audience to think that we're trying to fool them. Are they going to see me change for the reason of keeping the family together? Because if not, now it's the kind of show I really don't want to do. And they were like, no, we're doing it exactly like you said. And I was like, okay, cool, it makes sense. So the heart of the show was, us making you feel something about kids that don't have parents and want to be together no matter what.
And that's really what it was. And you know me who I am, your best friend J. Cole. I just have to say, way before, and I hate to do this to people, but way before Tyler was doing my deal.
Yes, brother.
Way before Tyler, we'll be talking like 20-some years.
Brother, the only cat who was doing it like that, it was Jamie doing Wanda, and Martin doing the girl Shanae, and his mother, and then me doing my thing. But they all three had a different complexity. And mine was a little bit more serious, and for a reason.
I was gonna say, because even with Martin and Jamie's character, they were more younger, and they were more in their generation right there. You played a character that was above. That was, you played an aunt. That was running from the social worker guy that kept trying to holler at you.
But see, I grew up with Flip Wilson. So I knew how to play a character like that that you feel something for it.
Got you.
You
Got
know,
you.
I mean, because, you know, there's a stigma of putting a black man in a dress. There's no way around it.
Yeah, yeah.
But what people fail to realize is that's been done for years.
Okay.
There's in African tribes, you can trace it. There is somebody who plays that character for whatever the entertainment is.
Okay.
Not because they have a sexual issue.
Yeah, yeah.
It's just because they do it, you know. And you know, I'm not in a rush to play the character with a dress.
Right.
Trust me.
Right.
But I found that it justified what they were trying to do with the TV show.
Okay.
And as an actor, you know, when you say I'm this one thing,
Got you.
you might as well quit.
Yeah.
Because as an actor, you know, you're a lot of
It's a
things.
wrap for your career.
You're a lot of things, yeah.
Right. You know, as a matter of fact, speaking of the acting aspect and the career and moving forward, we're going to take a quick pause.
Absolutely.
And I want to get with you to talk about, like you say, the business aspect and also what Mr. Ralph Harris has going on. Mr. Manish, what this old Manish young man got going on right now. Hey, it's your best friend, J. Cole. Ralph Harris, stay tuned for part 2, baby. Let's go.